Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde, et bienvenue à cette célébration virtuelle de la Fête du Canada au Royaume-Uni. My name is Ralph Goodale. I'm honored to be Canada's High Commissioner in the United Kingdom for all of 2 months now, just beginning, and I welcome you to this virtual Canada Day presentation for 2021 from Canada House on Trafalgar Square in London. We are sorry that we couldn't all gather in person. The same thing happened last year. We know how anxious everyone is to beat the pandemic and get back to normal once again. We're making good progress, but we're not quite there yet. Interestingly enough, by doing Canada Day this way, we actually reach more people. To the 300 employees who serve Canada from here at the High Commission, to the 250,000 Canadians who are living or working or studying or visiting in the UK, to all Canadians back home or wherever they may be around the world, and to anyone else who just wants to join in. Happy Canada Day, Bonne Fête Canada. En tant que nouveau venu à la Maison du Canada, je veux commencer par rendre hommage à tout le personnel dévoué, basé au Canada et recruté sur place, qui travaille si fort et si bien pour représenter le Canada au Royaume-Uni. You are first-rate professionals. Over the past 16 months, you have persevered through some of the most extraordinary circumstances the public service has ever had to face outside of wartime. You have done your jobs good-naturedly, with diligence and effectiveness, COVID notwithstanding, including outstanding support to the Prime Minister at the recent G7 Leaders Summit in Cornwall. So thank you and congratulations. You also responded quickly and passionately when the tragic news arrived about the discovery of the graves of hundreds of Indigenous children near residential schools in Kamloops, BC, and on Cowessess First Nation in Saskatchewan. Our maple leaf flag in London was quickly half-masted, and the High Commission helped with a vigil and memorial. Last night, Canada House was lit up in orange to mark the conclusion of National Indigenous History Month. Alors que nous célébrons ce 154e anniversaire de la Confédération, nous devons prendre le temps de réfléchir aux problèmes difficiles et non résolus de notre histoire, qui, pour certains, limitent leur enthousiasme pour la célébration. As we mark this 154th anniversary of Confederation, we need to take the time to reflect on the difficult, unresolved issues from our history that, for some, limit their enthusiasm for celebration. We like to think of Canada as a big, open, inclusive, multicultural land where we welcome everybody, make room for one another, respect each other, and honor diversity as our great strength. A land of tolerance and accommodation, the finest example of pluralism the world has ever known, we like to think. But there was a time when Canada levied a head tax on newcomers from China. We had internment camps for Ukrainian, Italian, and Japanese Canadians in times of war. We turned away South Asians on the Komagata Maru and Jews on the MS St. Louis. Some members of provincial legislatures and even the House of Commons once boasted of having the support of the Ku Klux Klan. But isn't that all in the distant past, some might ask? Well, sadly, no. Just in the past few weeks, a Muslim family was run down on the streets of London, Ontario. There were other attacks too in St. Albert and in Saskatoon. Anti-Semitism continues to scar communities. Homophobia, misogyny, Black Canadians have felt the sting of racial profiling. And the discovery of those unmarked Indigenous graves at former residential schools has prompted an unprecedented outpouring of grief and mourning. No, our pluralism is far from perfect. We need to remind ourselves of that. Remind ourselves that nation building, the Canadian way, is a never-ending process. We're never done. Canada is now, always has been, and ever will be a precious, delicate work in progress. On one of her many visits to Canada, Her Majesty the Queen put it this way. Canadians, she said, do not ask each other to deny their forebears or to forsake their inheritance, but only that we all value and respect the cultural and religious freedom of others, just as we want to enjoy our own. So more than anything else, Canada is a product of the human spirit. We are held together not by the force of arms or the force of laws, not by geography or by a single culture or language, but by our common will. And that means we have to work at it every day. We are a country not because we have to be, but because we want to be. And every day it depends, Canada depends on us and how we choose to treat each other. We're also a country where better is always possible. Indeed, it's always necessary. Being Canadian means reaching out, confronting the truth, going the extra mile to listen, to understand, and yes, to reconcile, to keep building that better, more decent Canada to which we all aspire, respectfully, hopefully, inclusively, relentlessly, together. Maintenant, pour débuter notre programme de la Fête du Canada, j'ai le plaisir de présenter d'Ottawa le Premier ministre du Canada, le très honorable Justin Trudeau.
Hello everyone, happy Canada Day. Today is an opportunity to celebrate our country and everyone who calls it home. But it's also an opportunity to reflect on what we've achieved as a country and what more we have to do. This past year and a half has been difficult. The pandemic has changed our daily lives, taught us hard lessons, and kept us apart. But if this difficult time has taught us all one thing, it's that in times of challenge or crisis, Canadians are there for one another. We've all helped our communities stay safe and healthy. We sat through countless Zoom birthdays and milestones. We put signs up in our windows and banged on pots and pans for our frontline healthcare heroes. We ordered takeout and shopped local to help our small businesses. Our kids skipped graduations and sleepovers. And following the horrific discoveries of hundreds of children at the sites of former residential schools in BC and Saskatchewan, we all stopped to reflect on the historical and ongoing injustices. And we, as Canadians, must be honest with ourselves about our history. Because in order to chart a new and better path forward, we have to recognize the terrible mistakes of our past. The truth is, we've got a long way to go to make things right with Indigenous peoples. But if we all pledge ourselves to doing the work, we can achieve reconciliation. We can build a better country for everyone. Because Canada's history also shows us that we can do hard things. It's a choice we make, and one that Canadians have made time and time again. Now, As we work to finish the fight against COVID-19 and build back better, I know that the same values that Canadians have lived this past year, hope, hard work, kindness, resilience, and respect, will carry us forward. My friends, what makes Canada special is not the belief that this is the best country in the world, it's the knowledge that we could be. And until everyone feels safe walking the streets of our communities, until everyone has the same opportunities to succeed, until everyone can live their lives free from discrimination, hatred, and violence, we have work to do. But whether it's ending the pandemic, tackling the climate crisis, standing against intolerance, or walking the path of reconciliation, no challenge we face will be too great if we face it together. Because the progress we've made as a country didn't happen by accident and won't continue without effort. So today, as we celebrate this amazing place we all call home and the people we share it with, let's also recommit ourselves to doing the hard work together. And tomorrow, let's tackle our challenges head on so we can build a better future for all. Happy Canada Day, everyone.
Merci, Monsieur le Premier Ministre. Thank you for joining us. If we didn't have the pandemic, Canada House would be hosting a formal July the 1st reception today, at which a British cabinet minister would undoubtedly bring some very special greetings. In lieu of that this year, I am very glad to introduce this next presentation from the Right Honourable Boris Johnson, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
I'm delighted to join your celebration of Canada Day, and on this occasion words like friend and ally feel somehow inadequate. Britain and Canada share so much, and the affinity between us runs so deep that I prefer to think of our two countries as not just friends, but as family. That's why we work hand in glove across the world as a combined force for good. Canada is the only country that sits alongside the UK in the G7, the G20, NATO, Commonwealth, and the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance. In some capitals around the world, our diplomats actually share the same embassy. All of this is entirely natural because we cherish the same freedoms, we stand for the same ideals, and by and large, we believe in the same causes. So let's work together even more intensively to build back better after COVID, protect our planet from climate change, promote clean and green development across the world, achieve a fantastic new free trade agreement as swiftly as possible, make sure that we do that deal on cheese, and stand up for freedom, democracy, and human rights wherever they're threatened.
Thank you, Prime Minister. You can be sure that Canada highly values its excellent relationship with the United Kingdom, and together we will keep making it flourish. And now, for the rest of our program, let me introduce my co-host for this virtual Canada Day 2021, the Deputy High Commissioner for Canada in the United Kingdom, Stephanie Beck.
Thank you very much, High Commissioner. Et bonjour tout le monde. Il me fait un grand plaisir d'être ici avec vous aujourd'hui. We're now going to carry on with a very special performance of our national anthem, echoing the High Commissioner's sentiments about valuing the rich diversity and cultural heritage of the many communities who together make up the colorful mosaic that is Canada. It gives me great pleasure to introduce deaf artist, actress, and performance Dawn Yanni Burley from Saskatchewan et Alice Dulude, une interprète sourde du Québec, who will perform O Canada in two of the sign languages of Canada, American Sign Language et Langue des signes du Québec.
True patriotism.
Thank you, Don, et merci, Alice. Bien que la Maison du Canada soit basée à Londres, nous savons bien que Londres ne représente pas à elle-même l'immense diversité du Royaume-Uni et des nations qui constituent l'Union. We are very lucky to have 3 excellent honorary consuls based in Blairgowrie, Cardiff, and Belfast, who serve as our representatives and eyes and ears on the ground, as well as an important local point of contact for the many Canadians who live in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. We will now hear from Mary Duncan, our wonderful honorary consul in Scotland, for a special Canada Day message.
Hello and happy Canada Day from a sunny Blairgowrie, Scotland. Yes, we do get the odd bit of sunshine in Scotland too. My name is Mary Duncan. I'm the Honorary Consul for Canada in Scotland, speaking to you today on behalf of my fellow Honorary Consuls for Northern Ireland and Wales, Ken Brundle and Lana Zilich. Canadians live and work in all corners of the 4 nations, and wherever you go, from the mountains of Snowdonia to a pub in Derry, Londonderry, or the rolling Highlands, you hear stories of Canadian-British ties. From aunts and uncles who emigrated to Canada generations ago, to young Canadians living and working in the UK today, our people-to-people ties are rich, diverse, and strong. Ken, Lana, and I have spent the past year providing Canadians living and working in the UK's devolved nations with consular and emergency assistance as we all grapple with the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a difficult year, but as the vaccination rollout picks up and travel restrictions begin to ease, we can all look to the future with a little bit of hope. So I raise my glass with Ken and Lana, and we toast to you, to good health, to happiness, and most of all, to hope. Happy Canada Day, everyone. Bonne fête du Canada.
Thank you for that lovely message, Mary. I look forward to seeing you when I visit Scotland later in the summer. Now, as I look at the time, I see that it's just past 5 o'clock in the UK, which means you must be getting hungry. Vous devez commencer à avoir faim. Our trusty High Commission chef, Gavin, has kindly let us take a look behind the scenes in the Canada House kitchen, where he has shared with us a special recipe for all homesick Canadians, mini tourtière. Originally from Quebec, this Canadian answer to a meat pie is typically served around winter holidays, but we've created a miniature version, perfect for snacking on this Canada Day. Passons maintenant à un extrait de Chansons rassembleuses, présenté par Nikamu Mamuitun en partenariat avec le Centre culturel canadien à Paris. Ce sont de grandes rencontres autour de la créativité entre autochtones et allochtones, une occasion de partage et de célébration inclusive de la chanson. Les artistes mentors Manuel Gass et Guillaume Arsenault accompagnent sur scène les auteurs, compositeurs, interprètes au cœur du projet, dont les compositions se mélangent et se métissent. Laissons-nous maintenant emporter par leur chant.
Koué Paris, directement de Notre-Dame-des-Prairies au Québec. On vous souhaite une bonne fête du Canada. Pour commémorer une amitié, une rencontre, un traité de paix. Les Premières Nations à l'est de l'Amérique du Nord avaient comme coutume de fabriquer un collier. Sur scène, des univers, des cultures, des langues, des mélodies, des rythmes, des personnalités qui se côtoient et s'imbriquent comme les perles d'un collier. Un collier qui a été rêvé et assemblé par Alan Côté du Festival en chansons de Petite-Vallée et Florent Volant, auteur, compositeur, interprète, ambassadeur Innu de Maliotenam, endroit où il y a le plus grand festival de musique autochtone en Amérique du Nord, Innu-Nikamu. Cette rencontre-là a pour but de mettre en valeur la culture ou les cultures et les langues autochtones et de nous lier, nous tous, comme les perles d'un collier. Bon spectacle, merci. Tchinishkamiten.
Et de rêves, on a repris l'élan avec des éclats au cœur, des mémoires en couleur qui ressuscitent le temps. Quand la nuit était claire, on a répondu au tonnerre, on a fait vibrer la terre. Je sais que la fin est proche, que le feu est éphémère, mais j'ai des souvenirs en poche. Des mémoires en couleur qui ressuscitent le temps.
Bewusyan dinit na Manin mani katin mani Kasyok man na panyan Wasit mani Katayan siya nitiwan Numatawid no dedan Naninda namandan Kimamuna nagkamdan On dansait toute la nuit Sur l'épaule du Makouchan Nagkamumamu itu Abuda Tuku Sikama
내게 지시했다면 내는 끝장 좋아하나 내게 전부 난 내는 mistaken Standing up to take on it Demand the question Kamu mamui tundi mamu inekenya Kamu mamui tundi Kamu mamui tundi
Our next guest performer is one of my personal favorites. Gurdeep Pandher has gone viral on social media with his irresistibly upbeat Bhangra dancing set against the wild, mountainous backdrop of Canada's Yukon. His performances capture all of Canada's rich natural environment and diverse multiculturalism and people. This exclusive performance for Canada Day features bagpipes by Jordan Lindsay, making this a truly Canada-UK performance. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Friends at Canada's High Commission in the UK, and we are going to join Punjabi Bhangra dancing with
the Scottish Highland Bagpipes.
For joy, hope, positivity, and
Canada Day?
Yes!
Well, that was wonderful. Almost makes me want to get up and dance myself. So from a performance of a Scottish instrument in the Yukon, we now turn to a Canadian performance in London's West End. As many of you know, the COVID pandemic has hit the theatre and wider performing arts industries very hard. So I am absolutely thrilled to be able to present to you an exclusive a cappella version of O Canada, performed by some of the cast members of the London production of Come From Away. This musical tells the heartwarming story of a Newfoundland town which welcomed 7,000 foreigners, or Come From Awayers, in September 2001, when their planes were diverted after the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center. The story celebrates Canadian hospitality, diversity, and inclusivity, reminding us of our common humanity and our need for community.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras s'est porté la paix, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you all so much for that fantastic rendition. If you haven't seen the show, I wholeheartedly recommend you go and see it. They are reopening in London at the Phoenix Theatre this summer. In fact, I'm going to go see it myself later on this month. As we approach the end of this year's Canada Day UK programming, I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and I really hope you've enjoyed the show. Before we go, did you know that more Canada Day content is available on our website? For a virtual tour of Canada House, more recipes, playlists, video tutorials for the kids with caribou face painting, and more, just go to culturecanada.co.uk. And finally, keep monitoring our social media channels this evening for an exclusive online concert with the Canadian band Walk Off the Earth and the Montreal singer-songwriter Cœur de Pirate. Thank you all for watching and happy Canada Day. À bientôt et bonne fête du Canada.